Hello there, everyone. My name is Oversoul. This is Oversoul Gaming, and welcome back to Control post game. Yes, we're getting ready to start the Foundation DLC, which takes place after the main story, after the credits have rolled. Jessie is full-fledged director now, as you can see by her fancy smanchy new outfit. If you watch the post credits, at the end of the last episode, then you already saw her in this outfit, and you heard the message from um, Trench. If not, then please make sure you go back and check that out because it is important that you hear the message from Trench after the credits.
Shawshank Redemption. That's the name of the movie I was thinking of earlier. Not important, but that was it.
Thank you for that nice bit of tidbit. What is this room? Oh, this is how we get to the hotline chamber from the director's office. See, only the director has access to this pathway from within their own office. But the hotline chamber is where we need to go because that will bring upon the next part of the story. It's what'll start the Foundation DLC. The board is calling, and they have an important message.
Even if it was a dream, I feel Darling reached out to me through the hotline. I
He
have
did.
a feeling he and Trench won't be the only callers from the beyond.
They won't. Director, situation crisis. Uh-oh, in Foundation. We demand your attention, Moxie. Oh, this house is in danger. We opened the door / tree in maintenance. Hurry, post haste.
Problem in the Foundation. That was Ahti's vacation spot. We need to check this out.
Yep, I'm sure you remember Ahti's vacation spot from the end, or from when we did the ashtray maze. Anyways, maintenance. We have to go to maintenance in order to get where we're headed, and that's maintenance is a little ways off, isn't it? Let's head to Central Executive though and talk to Emily. I'm sure she's there, and from there we can fast travel to where we need to go as well.
Jessie Faden, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. I still don't quite believe it. But you always knew where we were headed.
Believe it or not, it is what it is. Can't be changed now. Yo, Fataka. Okay. Let's pop on in and say hello to Emily. I'm sure she has something new to say after everything that happened.
Jessie, good to see you. We've got Dylan situated in his containment cell like you asked. I've got medical staff running tests as we speak, and I'd be happy to walk you through the details later. Other than that, what's next?
With the slide projector turned off, the hiss are shut out, but we're stuck with the ones already here. We can't lift the lockdown until they're all eradicated. If any hiss ever got out, that would be the end of everything.
Well, eliminating them all will take time. Look, I'll do what I can on my end, but my research is progressing slower than I'd like.
I think I can help with that. I am making you the head of research, effective immediately. I want you to use everything the Bureau has, every resource, every confidential scrap of data, and find a way to keep the hiss out for good.
That's... really? I mean, yes, I can certainly...
Hell of a
Yes.
promotion.
Yes, I accept.
You'll do great. Besides, I didn't really have anyone else lined up.
I'm honored, Jessie, really. Thank you.
Just don't screw it up. I'm glad we could have this talk. Oh, you're still red. There's more.
Do you remember Mr. Tomasi, the head of communications? The hiss he was changed into showed up in containment, near the turntable.
I'll take care of it.
That thing's not getting away this time.
I've heard reports about his particular use of language and intonation when repeating the hiss babbling. The biological and behavioral distinctions between different hiss-corrupted individuals is truly fascinating. I wonder if I could categorize the data.
And she's already off on her own thing.
Okay, so it looks like we have a bunch of new dialogue options to go through with Emily here. All right.
How do you feel about me taking over as director?
You act like it just happened. You've been director since we first met, remember? I am still thrilled. Nothing's changed. Not for me. But the Bureau has changed. Trench and Darling are gone. Their knowledge, anything not written down, disappeared with them. They knew the Bureau better than anyone.
They're the Bureau's past, Emily. We won't operate like they did. We'll learn from their mistakes. We'll be better than they ever were. We won't ever be like them. When the hiss got into my head, I saw some weird things. I think Darling even spoke to me. Does that make any sense to you?
Empirically, no, but phantom voices as well as hallucinatory states are not uncommon here. And considering the forces that Dr. Darling was working with, he could have been transferred to a different plane of consciousness, physically or otherwise.
And that doesn't upset you?
Oh, very. And the fact that he hid those forces from me? It's infuriating. But Darling's dream was always to look beyond our reality. This time he may have taken a step too far, but as long as his consciousness can perceive his surroundings, I'm sure he's loving it.
Maybe Darling was just trying to protect you from the darker side of his work.
Fuck that. I'm not a child. Like, don't just assume I'm going to consider something morally repugnant.
Which it all was.
Which it all was, of course.
Haha, great minds and all that, right? Okay. I mean, that basically explains what happened to Dr. Darling, though. It's not so much that he died as it is that he kind of, like, just allowed himself to go to the other side, or something like that. Remedy is... this game in particular is, very weird. Alright.
How was Dylan?
The same. I can't detect any his activity, but his physiology has certainly been altered by it. And I can't tell if his brain activity is genuine or simply the aftermath of the hiss, like spasms. Dylan could wake up tomorrow for all I know. I really can't say.
Then I just have to wait for him.
Well,
That's fair.
you're gonna be waiting a
He
while,
waited a long time for me.
because that shit doesn't happen in this game.
Don't worry. We'll be monitoring him round the clock. If he wakes up, we'll be ready. I don't mean that in a hostile way, just... well, you know.
Yeah.
I hear you.
It'll be future
My brother
DLC,
isn't exactly popular around here.
or a sequel or something.
I hope one day he'll have the chance to change that.
Or it'll come in a later story. I mean, if Remedy games really are going to be the MCU of video games, then Dylan is probably the Loki of this franchise.
So, there was a moment after Hedron died that I couldn't feel my powers. The hiss got into my head. Just for a moment.
So that explains the HRA outage. Before we knew what was happening, the hiss had us. They were in my head. I saw terrible things. I mean, I was about to go under forever when the hiss was pushed back. The HRAs had come back on. Dylan vanished afterwards, and we fought off the hiss that came after him. So if Hedron's death knocked out the HRAs, that means there must be a new local source for them to relay, which I'm guessing must be...
Me.
you. Hedron is dead, assuming that word even applies to a resonant-based life form.
That's fucking
But
nuts.
whatever it awakened in you, the power you call Polaris, is still active. Or at least, that's what my instruments are telling me.
I don't think we're ever gonna understand all of this.
It
And
was
I'm okay
the...
with that.
It's totally the...
I'm just glad you're here with me. That's good to know. Thanks, Emily.
Oh yeah, no, it's 100% the whole the power was within you all along cliche, but you know, more sci-fi and confusing. But yeah. So basically, Hedron was the source of Polaris, but now Polaris exists inside Jesse. So as long as Jesse exists, the HRAs will work, and everyone will be safe from the hiss if they're wearing an HRA.
I found Dylan attacking the astral plane and the board. What was he hoping to accomplish?
Huh. Since they arrived, Hiss have been corrupting objects of power, which have an inherent link to the astral plane. Maybe their goal was to access the astral plane and the board itself.
That still doesn't tell us why.
His motives are a difficult thing to work out, but I have been digging through confidential files and noticed a strange gap in knowledge regarding the board. Looks like any data on them has either been deleted or was never gathered in the first place.
Then maybe it's time someone looked into that.
Maybe it is.
The board is not going to appreciate us snooping around in their business.
Well, I've got a bureau to run. See you soon.
Yes, ma'am, Director Faden.
Yeah.
Please, Emily. Not even as a joke. Who moved my waveform, please? Sorry.
All right. Well, I guess we will just we're gonna focus on the Foundation DLC here. It's mainly story related. The only other stuff we're really missing is like Langston's runaway objects, which I might still do because they're all like weird things, but frankly it's not as exciting as you're hoping it'll be, if I'm being honest with you. You know, there's like a mannequin that can clone itself and you have to guess which of the clones is the mannequin. There's like a flamingo that warps reality, so you go down a weird hallway. That's about where it begins and ends, really. Like, there's a stoplight that, like, when it's red, you have to stop moving, and when it's green, you can keep moving, and if you move when it's red, then it'll teleport you back to the beginning. You know, it's just stuff like that. It's not like we're fighting, like, giant monsters and stuff. It's just, like, weird little mini-games with sentient toys playing with us. More or less. But let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see that, and if you do, then I will go ahead and do that side quest, and if you don't care about it, then we won't do it. Just know that we could dedicate a whole episode to that shit, so, because it happens twice. So just keep that in mind. So I'll let you decide. I'll let you, the viewer, decide. Choose your own adventure. Alright. Let's talk to this guy. It's
I heard
been a
you
while.
closed the Hiss portal, or whatever it is we're calling it. And if we could just flush out the stragglers.
Alright, so... Wow, he's got a lot of new stuff to say, too.
So, what's next for Simon Arish?
Well, first off, I'm banning all slide projectors. That's it. Seriously, though, we need to review our protocols. Research should not be making decisions that endanger the entire Bureau, fuck it, the entire fucking world, without some serious oversight.
I
Yeah.
think Pope would agree. Certain people in the Bureau have been working in the shadows for too long.
And I'd like to make these HRAs part of the mandatory Bureau uniform. They're not stylish, but better safe than sorry.
I don't think anyone will complain. Not after this.
But I don't think... Jesse can't ever, like, actually leave the Bureau, though. Otherwise, they're all gonna get possessed by the hiss.
What are your thoughts on me serving as director?
Well, I couldn't be more excited. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Trench was fine, but... Well, you pulled us back from the brink, so... Well, I'm honored to serve, ma'am. I mean, fuck, shit. Faden. Sorry.
He'll get it one day.
He sounds like me when I'm trying to remember how to say something right and I fuck it up immediately.
What's the situation
Like,
in the
ah,
Bureau,
shit, that's not what I meant to say.
The situation is we are still up to our eyes in Hiss. Not to mention the months of repairs it's gonna take just to get this place up and running again.
But is it doable?
Of course it is. You just might need to tell some rangers to grab a wrench once they're done hunting Hiss.
Did anyone ever mention to you that Darling was using the slide projector?
Salvador never did, but I doubt he even knew. Look, I'm well aware that it's our job to study and contain the things that we don't understand, but some of the things that Darling did were way outside of our mission statement. Look, these
Yeah.
things are not toys, and acting like they are is only ever gonna end one way. At least Pope seems to understand that.
Well, it's secure now. No one can reach it without my say-so.
But thank Christ for that.
And you cleansed it, didn't you?
Marshall's been missing for a while now. Any ideas where she could be?
The last time I saw her was in maintenance when I was leading the Rangers out of the Atlas. Yeah, I told her it wasn't safe, but she said she had to go check on something.
Did
Huh.
you ask where she was going?
Whew, Marshall is not the kind of person you question. Kind of intimidating, you know? But, she was by herself, if that helps at all.
Not really, but thanks. Hopefully she turns up.
Yeah, hopefully. Fancy that, though.
I'll see you later.
You know where I'll be.
Yes. Fancy that, though. Fancy that Marshall is in maintenance because she had to check on something. And isn't that where the board told us to go? Huh. Perhaps. Perhaps. I'm sorry, I lost train of what I was saying. Oh, perhaps our goals align. That's what I was gonna say. Jesse and Marshall, that is. Outfits, yeah, we can change. Alright. We're going to go to maintenance. Where's the restricted area I'm trying to get to up here in maintenance? There it is, foundation. Duh. Boy, I wonder if it could be the place that's also the name of the DLC we're playing.
Dark. Quiet. Transdimensional. This place really suits Ahti. So
Yes.
that etching is the door.
Remember how I said at
Okay.
the
Let's try opening it.
right, remember how I said at the end of the main game that this door would come into play in the DLC? Well, here we are. Time to visit the Foundation. And by Foundation, they really do mean Foundation. Like, this is the roots of the Bureau. We're deep underground.
No
Deep
time for
underground.
sightseeing. The board said this was an emergency.
No time for sightseeing. Well, you can't see sights anyways because it's fucking dark.
Looks like no one's been down here in a while.
Also, it's dark. Ah, well, we turned the lights on, so that helps. Yep. In this DLC, there are these sentient rock crystal things that keep
Crystals are kind of pretty.
protruding.
Emily would be having a field day down here.
They keep protruding out of the ground. They are an obstacle in our way, but also they can be used for platforming into areas. They play a huge role in the story of the Foundation DLC, and we'll learn more about them later. But first, let's listen to this audio log.
My life's been a strange one. Certainly stranger than I'd like. But this place, it's something else. The floors crawl, the walls slither, it's a shifting pit. On the street, it's just another drab building standing there for anyone to see. But no one does. How do we miss it? Northmore. Acting director Northmore now is on a train from Washington. He'll expect answers, which is why I'm making these tapes. They're evidence that I'm at least trying to understand. Father searched his entire life for something like this, and we find it 1 week after he's buried. He always hated irony. Of course, Father, the great director Ash, would have been the first man in. And look at me, his bookworm son, the supposed head of research who can't stop his legs from shaking long enough to step over the threshold.
Ah,
He's a
yes.
strange one,
So we're really digging into the history here, okay? Because before Jesse, there was Trench, obviously. Before Trench, there was Northmore, who is the old
The
director.
Foundation. Bottom of
Uh-oh.
the oldest house. Stop the hiss.
Marshall? How was she on the hotline? Unless
Yep.
she's dead.
People usually...
Jesus.
People
She
usually...
seemed like the kind of woman who could survive anything.
People usually only call from the hotline if they are deceased. And we'll get to that in a second. Right here. We'll listen to that in a second, but I'm going to finish what I was saying first. So yeah, before Jesse, there was Trench. Before Trench, there was Northmore, who I showed you way earlier in the game is the body that they put inside the generator down in the center of the Bureau to keep everything powered. So there's that. Northmore is basically a living battery now. Yeah, being the director is cool and all, but like when you get replaced, it sucks for you. It's cool for the new director, but it sucks for you because you usually end up dead or tortured or something. But yeah, so and before Northmore there was Ash, and then Ash had a son whose name is also Ash, who worked in the research department when Northmore was director. And it was during that time that they did their first excavation down here into the Foundation, so we'll hear a lot of that history as we go along. All right, let's listen to this hotline message from Marshall.
I only heard of the Foundation when I became head of operations. The very bottom of the oldest house. Director access only. Just the name alone is classified. Zachariah gave me a tour the day I was promoted. Said I should see it for myself, to understand. After that, I snuck down on my own from time to time to keep tabs on the place, and on them. But nothing ever changed down there. Not even the walls. It's solid, permanent, different from the rest of the house. Of course, they were always watching me. I never stayed long. I'm not stupid. I have to stop the hiss from finding this place. I'm the only one who can.
And by they, I think she means the board. Or someone from the Bureau. Something. But yeah, if the hiss get into the Foundation, can you imagine the damage that would do? Oh, look. The hiss are here. Imagine that. I love how they show you that the hiss are here immediately after Marshall's like, I hope the hiss don't find this place. That would be bad. Well, the hiss found this place. So, it's bad. Looks like we've got some work to do. We can't get up there yet, even with our floaty ability, because we can't reach. Trust me, I've tried. We will be able to get up there eventually, though, when we gain a new power that's exclusive to this DLC. Which you'll see later. Yeah, we had all the powers we could have for the main story, but this DLC gives us 2 new ones. Which is kind of fun. Oh, it's time to fight more hissy boys. Clunk. I can control 2 of them at once now with my latest upgrade. Ah, Jesus! I got a rocket launcher. Got him with that melee. Alright, thank you for your patronage. I'm gonna cleanse this control point. Alright, and you know what? Jesse, we should go ahead... Oops. We should go... Oh, no, I can't do it from here. Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say we should change her back into her adventurer outfit so she doesn't get her nice fancy director's suit all dirty and shit, but you know what? Fuck it. We can't change it from here. You can only change it at the Central Executive one. Your outfit, that is. And also, the hell with it. We'll keep this outfit on for continuity. Oh, here we go again. Fire! Oh, you did the slimy doodle. Oh, this is a new enemy type in this DLC. It's a new type of hiss. They're like melee, basically. Ouch! Fuck. Fist slam! Yeah, they call that a superhero landing. Get away from me!
They're using pickaxes now.
Yeah, these guys are running around chasing you with pickaxes. How you like them apples? Yep. Of course, one has to wonder, if we close the portal so that more hiss can't get in, how are we seeing new types of hiss down here? Wouldn't it only be the hiss that already got in the first place? Unless these pickaxe hiss were always down here to begin with. This just happened to be where they were, you know. They didn't show up in other areas. A relocation order, you say? Tom, you missed the good news. I'm sure the official memo will go out soon, but Northmore called on all hands at the crossroads to announce we're finally moving out of this hellhole and up into the house proper. Bureau brass apparently solved the moving walls problem, or at least figured out a way to pinpoint where and when they happen. All I know is going up means goodbye darkness, goodbye weird lunches with that ex-Nazi scientist, and goodbye pissing into the pit. I know that was you, Barry. Northmore's ordering the Foundation sealed as soon as we can haul our stuff out and somehow convince Ash to come with us. He's the only one kicking up a fuss. This is long overdue. We've lost 11 men and damn near $10,000 in supplies moving between the entrance and the Foundation. And for what? Research? Ash is batty if he thinks we want to stay here and sift through more sand for him. It's just rusted iron flakes anyways. Did you know that? We were breathing that shit in. Oh, and here's another thing I haven't read yet. To all executive staff, I know there is some concern regarding our operations exceeding the annual budget. So long as we operate within the oldest house, we are obscured from scrutiny in many respects. If our budget demands we are not exorbitant to the point of drawing attention, then they will be granted by the U.S. Treasury without question. The FBC is just another line in another spreadsheet that some lowly accountant won't even notice. Their eyes will skip over us as if we weren't even there. The nature of the oldest house allows us certain freedoms in how we operate. Our being here is no accident. Regards, Zachariah Trench, Director of the Bureau. That's what you said then. Yeah, the slide projector, which we already know enough about. Okay. Time to move on. Heading to the crossroads. That's the way we need to go for now. Hey! Dangerous, toxic geysers. They will do the damage if they hit us, so we have to dodge them, which is easy when you can float. Heyo! Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's another one we can't get. Wait a minute, am I going the wrong way again? Definitely can't get up there. I did, I went the wrong way. Ah, this way is where we're supposed to go, I think. Yes! Going around the bend over here. Oh, there's another document. Foundation accident. Mr. Wilder, I have some bad news. You remember that Robert Ricardo fellow we brought in as a special consultant to map the lower caves? Well, today he found a chamber with weird eyes covering every inch of the walls and a strange black pillar in the center. Kind of looks like the one at the crossroads, but smaller. We had a bureau member shadowing him, but whatever happened in there did a number on our guest. The docs are taking a look, but it's pretty clear Mr. Adventure's exploring days are over. I know we were careful to limit the guy's exposure to the non-ordinary. Drugging him and carrying him through the upper floor was a real hoot, by the way. But we really need to evaluate our policies on external contractors. Honestly, we'd be better off forming a special division trained in repelling and orienting rather than subjecting more outsiders to the shit we deal with. They almost always end up dead or loony. That's a good point. Just sacrificing random people to this nonsense for the purpose of research. Can't get in there because we can't destroy this stuff that's in our way. Not yet, anyway. Oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
The astral plane is cutting into our dimension.
Huh.
If this happens in the upper floors,
Well, that
it'll
would
destroy
be
the bureau.
that would be very bad, yeah. So this is what Marshall came to investigate. Let me shoot you, la 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 la. I missed. I totally missed. Uh-oh. I fell off the edge. Whoops. That's gonna take a little damage. Okay. Nothing I can't handle, though. Alright, come here. Bitch! Got him. Shielded bastards.
I wish I'd brought Emily with me. I could really use my head of research right about now.
Okay, but Emily can't float and shit, so how the hell is she gonna get across here? How did Marshall get across here? Oh, right, she didn't. She's dead. Oops. I forget.
Marshall? Marshall!
Or is she?
You're alive!
Dun dun dun!
Wait! It's Jesse! The director!
I thought you didn't want to be known as the director, even though you are. Or is it just that you don't want to be known as Miss Faden? Or whatever.
Whoa. This place is huge.
Marshall?
I believe it's pronounced
Can you hear me?
huge.
She was on the
Sloop.
hotline, so that person couldn't have been Marshall, right? One problem at a time. Let's see what's going on with that pillar first.
Yeah, how could there be two marshals? That's not good. That's not how the things work. That's not how stuff is done. Ley lines, you say? Yeah, there's a lot of documents to pick up around here. I'm going to read them all eventually, but first I have to look at what there is. Okay, that's one room. Let's check out the other room. Ah, yes, audio log. I knew there was one of these around here somewhere.
It's been 5 days since we first entered the building. Traversing the interior is dangerous due to the shifting, but we did manage to find a lower cavern that seems structurally predictable, which is a scientific way of saying its walls won't crush us in our sleep. Northmore even made a discovery. A pistol placed on a stone pedestal in front of that strange ebony pillar. Seems like something out of a storybook, except the heroes usually find swords, not handguns. But it is the perfect lure for someone like him. Hours after finding this weapon, Northmore cornered me to spout some nonsense about how the board had made him the director. He ranted about the title being meaningless before now, calling Father and all other previous directors shams, frauds, and worse. I think this place is worse for Northmore than it is for me. Strangest thing? There was no pedestal in front of that pillar a day ago. This building has swallowed a dozen of my men, and now it's handing out presents? Is it playing some sort of game? If it is, we're most certainly losing. Oh, we don't even know the rules.
So, Northmore was the first... He wasn't the first bureau director, but...
5 days since we first...
He wasn't the first bureau director, but... He was the first bureau director to have contact with the board and have this special gun that we've been using. I'm hitting the wrong buttons because of other games I've been playing. Muscle memory. So he was the first director to get this object of power, which was given to him directly by the board, down here in the Foundation. So, I had some interesting stuff. Nail/door/monolith is hurt. Touch it to enter. Repair the nail/link to prevent astral consumption/collision. This is the director's duty/plot. Authorized for a single new tool/upgrade. Use it to save the Foundation/us/Bureau. Left, self, or right something. Only one is permitted. Which will you choose?
So I can only choose one? I thought I was done with these tests.
So the board is letting us choose between two different powers. The ability to pull rocks, those crystals out of the wall and use them as platforms. Or the ability to destroy them with guns, the ones that are in our way anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, we eventually get both of them. So, it doesn't really matter which one you choose first, it just kind of changes which areas you go to. But since I'm gonna go with the way I did it in my original playthrough and choose this one first. All right. The board just told us that we are literally the first director in Bureau history to get this specific power. And that we should feel honored for that reason. Well, isn't that something special? Some crystals... Yep. Some crystals turn into spikes. We can use them to hurt enemies. Which is useful. Like this. See, these gold ones can't be damaged by guns, so... Astral plane test dummies. There'll be some cases where we have to pull this stuff out of the wall and form it while we're currently floating in the air. Oh, shit. Oops. Ah, fuck. Oh, well. I guess I'll have to drop. Okay. Wait, how far? Oh, okay. Whee! Okay, that's not what I wanted. You have to be careful because it's the same button. And we hit the end of this area. Anyway. It's not the last time we'll visit the astral plane in this DLC.
Let's review. This broken pillar is called the Nail. It was
Yes.
broken by something, and now the astral plane is bleeding into the foundation, which will destroy the oldest house, the Bureau, and everyone inside. I need to find 4 locks, or keys, or whatever, to stop that from happening. But I'm the director. I've handled worse. This should be simple. Ish. You with me?
I know you're talking to Polaris, but it really just feels like a big exposition dump for the audience. But thank you. Thank you so much, Jesse, because you know what? Because you just did all that, now I don't have to. I don't have to do that. That's what I was gonna do, because that's what I do in these replays. I explain the story to the audience, you know, because I've been through it already and I know what's going on. You know, that's kind of the whole thing about the replays. But since you just did all that, you just did it for me, so now I don't have to. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Anyways, I'm actually... I know we usually push these ones to like an hour, but I'm actually going to go ahead and stop this one here because this feels like a good stopping point, all things considered. Revelations we just got and stuff, some stuff to process, some things to chew on and all that. And she, you know, she left us with a good exposition dump. She's right. We got a quest ahead of us. You know, we got to find some keys, kill some hiss, do that, this, that, the other thing, and restore the nail so that the astral plane stops bleeding into the real world, into our dimension. Because if that keeps happening, eventually the astral plane will just overtake the oldest house. And can you imagine if the astral plane gets outside of the oldest house and starts overtaking, you know? Yeah, that would be bad. Like, eventually the astral plane just engulfs the whole, our entire reality. Like, it just merges with it. That'd be nuts. But anyways, well, that'll be it for this episode. Let me know what you think of this DLC so far. And, oh, again... let me know if you want to see, I've decided if you want to see that little side quest where we go after all of those runaway objects of power, we will do that, and like other side quests too, like going after Tomasi and all that. If you want to see all that stuff, we will do that, but it will be in a bonus episode after all this. So we're going to finish the Foundation DLC, and then when I put out the final episode, that'll be it for the Let's Play official. But then, if you want, I will do a bonus episode covering Langston's runaway objects of power and the boss battle with Tomasi and all that other stuff. If you want to see that, so that'll be in a bonus episode after we finish this. So if you want to see it, so again, let me know in the comments down below if that's something you'd like to see, and then we'll tackle that stuff at the end of everything in a little cleanup episode. But like I said, that'll be the end of this one. So let me know what you think of this DLC so far. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave it a like. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. And I will catch you possibly at another day, definitely at another time, and likely in another video. Okay, goodbye.